Hi. If you guys can do me a favor and just give a thumbs up that you can hear me okay? Just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Great. Great. Awesome. Okay. Great. So people are still signing on, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you so much for, giving part of your Sunday afternoon to Project One. As you know, it's a new initiative that I have brought forth this year, and I'm going to channel for everybody and hear what the energy wants to say about it. And then I'll be doing some readings. But I first just wanted to tell everybody, if you have a specific question, if you've started reading Project One already and you have a specific question that you want to ask me, to just send me the question in the chat box, and I'll try to get to it. If not tonight, I'll try to get to it either via my newsletter, or I'll try to get back to you personally to answer those questions, because I have been getting a lot of feedback about Project One, and a lot of experiences that people are having with it, that are new experiences and energetic experiences. And it seems like for many people, they're feeling the energy that I work with working directly with them. So it's quite interesting for me watching this come to fruition. So just to tell you, if you haven't read Project One, and if you are kind of new to my work, I'll just tell you briefly that basically how this all came about was pretty otherworldly, I would say. um, Basically, back in October of 2019, I was getting ready to do a reading for somebody, an intuitive reading, and this new energy came through me that I had never felt before. And it was very clear that it was a different energy than anything that I had ever worked with in the past. And it came through and it asked me to begin taking dictation every day, and that something would develop from this dictation. And it was to be called Project One. And they told me that it would need to happen rather quickly, because this information would be needed for the public within the year 2020, because 2020 has a significant energetic code behind it, and it would mark the beginning of a new phase for spiritual evolution, of moving into unity and oneness. And at the time, I was kind of like, what is going on? Like, I don't really know about this. But then everything that they told me came to fruition exactly as they laid it out for me. And shortly, 3 months, it took me 3 months to dictate Project One. And then I got it off to a transcriber. And shortly after that, I got the transcription back. I went through it. I had to actually Google a lot of it because I didn't understand a good amount of it. It was very scientific. And those of you that know me, like especially back in the city, that know my spiritual practice and the kind of stuff that I do, I'm not a scientific person at all. So this was just a completely different genre for me. I was like, what is this? So I had to actually Google a lot of it because I was a little nervous. But so I Googled a lot of it, and then I got it off to an agent exactly 1 week before the coronavirus hit in the US. And it was like, wow, I can't believe I did that. And I mean, I had no idea that this outbreak was going to happen. And the agent fast tracked an ebook to get it out to the public immediately. And sure enough, now we're here in the middle of, a crisis and a realignment. And Project One is out to the public. So that's where we're at right now. And now there's a group of people that are working with it. So a question that has come up a lot is about the partner work. And This is actually, even my husband actually asked me, he's like, where, I don't know what partner I'm going to work with. What am I going to do? And I said, well, when I'm channeling, the information that I'm getting is that a partner is going to come to fruition. So basically, um, what I'm doing, and this isn't, I'm not doing this in response to that question, but I think it is going to help with that question a lot. I am working on forming an online group, and that group is going to probably form here within a couple weeks. I'm working on it right now. And that is definitely going to be a group where we can work together in partnership, because the energy really wants us to work together. And the reason why is because we can begin dissipating forms between us, actual forms. They're actually doing, the protocol is intended to take us to another dimensional space outside of the physical dimension in which we can do consciousness work. And that's why the energy is to be working directly with you while you're embarking upon Project One. So when you're in that other dimensional space, you can be working with partners and begin dissipating the forms and boundaries between us. And in that process, we're healing each other. And as we heal each other, we are healed from the higher dimensional space, from God, really. So that's kind of the aim of Project One, is really moving us into oneness. And they tell us that they wanted to start with the feminine resonance because this is going to make the greatest impact in humanity from the get-go. Is if we can begin healing the feminine resonance, we will see the biggest results right away in our or the biggest shift right away in our physical reality. So that's what we're doing right now, and I'm doing it, my husband's doing it, or my friends are doing it. I even got my mom doing it. So like we're all kind of doing it. So um I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna bring in the energy, and we'll see sort of what has to be said. And then I will open it up to live readings. So, with that, I'm going to ask everybody to just kind of sit back and be comfortable and allow yourself to be in sort of a relaxed state. And you don't have to close your eyes, but you can if you want. It's up to you, whatever is the most relaxed space for you. And afterwards, after the channeling, I'll tell you a little bit more about the prerequisite, because I know that's another big question that people have been asking me about, is free will. So with that, if everybody can just take a big deep breath in and exhale on your own in your own space. And I'm going to go ahead. It takes me, a minute or two to sort of ground this energy in. They call themselves the forces that be. And it's really just, a lot of people ask me, well, who is this? What is this? It's really a collective consciousness. It's sort of a very, very, very evolved human, is what it really is. It's the future of humanity. Um, so I'm gonna let them speak, because sometimes they're better at it than I am. So, okay, so just take a big deep breath in and exhale, and just give me 1 or 2 minutes here. And while I'm doing this, you could probably also set the intention within yourself to connect to this higher energy that's working with Project One, that's bringing this information forward. And you can just allow yourself to be open to that and make the intention, that you are only willing to work with the higher energies that are working for your highest good. We want to begin the evening by congratulating each and every one of you. And the reason why we want to congratulate each and every one of you is because every single person that has joined this group tonight has joined here of your own free will. And we have discussed this leading up to this moment, leading up to this day quite significantly. We have discussed free will and making the alignment of your free will in alignment to God. This has been the prerequisite. This has been the prerequisite for Project One. Therefore, if you have begun Project One, you have already done this. You have already done this. Now, this is what you need to understand about this, though. While we have made it very clear that it is important for you to begin Project One with your alignment in alignment to God, what you have to understand is that you will be tested every single day from here on out to make that choice every single day again. Therefore, do not rest on your laurels now, because we have told you that you have already aligned your free will to God. Because now that you have done that, you will be tested over and over and over and over again to make that choice every single day. And it is imperative that you make the choice to choose love, to choose non-judgment, to choose forgiveness, to choose compassion, to choose understanding every single day from this day forward. And the reason why is because now you are the container for Project One. Now, those of you that are saying, okay, I'm new to Project One, I don't really understand. What you have to understand is that Project One is a project. It is a project. It is not just a book. It is a project that requires your participation. It requires your participation in it. And as your participation is required, you will become more engaged in the project. Now, this is what you have to understand. Project One is a formula. It is a formula. We have not shown you the formula in its entirety, but what you need to know is you are now a variable within the formula itself. Therefore, since you are a variable within the formula of Project One itself, how you process Project One is going to determine the outcome of Project One. What you have to know is that the destiny of humanity has not been determined yet. Rather, you are all determining the destiny of humanity now, today, in your lives. What Project One is doing, it is giving you a container. It is developing a container to test this project out, and you are the container. You are the variable within the formula for Project One, and we will see how you do based upon that. This does not mean that we will judge you, because we do not judge you. We are simply giving you information. We are giving you information for a process that you have always been able to do, but you just did not know it. You did not know it. This is what you are coming to realize within Project One, is that you are an interdimensional human being. Now, this sounds so far out, but it is actually not far out at all. It is very realistic, and your science, the science that humanity has developed, is now on the brink of realizing this. It is now on the brink of realizing that you live in a multiple dimensional universe. This is not crazy. This is not stuff for only spiritual people. This is something for every single human being. And the reason why it is for every single being is because every single human being has a soul, and that soul has the ability to access all dimensional spaces at all given times. This is where your soul intelligence is coming into play. This is where your soul intelligence is coming into the formula. For those of you that have begun to read Project One, you are beginning to understand how important soul intelligence is going to be for you in this project, because soul intelligence is able to access these other dimensional spaces. It is not your physical form and it is not your physical personality that is accessing these other dimensional spaces. So when you do the work for Project One, you yourself are going to be accessing these other dimensional spaces through your soul intelligence. Your soul intelligence is what will be doing the work for you. Therefore, you have to call on your soul intelligence to be able to do the work for you. This is the process. This is the beginning of the protocol that's going to be laid out in Project One for you, that many of you are already beginning to do, and you're beginning to understand that your soul intelligence actually has this capability. Now, what we are going to do tonight is to begin to show you how your soul intelligence has this potential within it to be able to access these other dimensional spaces. And we are going to be working with you to be able to do it, to be able to do this. Now, what you have to understand about this in tonight is that this is unexpected. We did not know, or the channel did not know, that this was going to be happening, that you would actually be accessing these other dimensional spaces tonight. However, we want you to see that it is possible. We want you to understand that it is possible to be able to access another state of being from where you sit tonight. And when you begin to access this other state, or this other reality, this other dimensional space, you will be able to do consciousness work from that space that will impact your physical reality directly. This is what is happening in Project One. From there, you will move forward. You will move forward. There is much more information to come to you about this process. However, within Project One, within the manual that you are all reading now, or that you are beginning to read, this is the foundational practice. And the reason why this is the foundational practice is because this is the most important foundation for you to understand and to comprehend within your consciousness. As you begin to understand and comprehend this within your consciousness, as you begin to shift, as your consciousness begins to shift as a result of understanding the foundational practice of Project One, then you will begin to receive more information about how to move forward from this other dimensional space, and how you can begin to move humanity towards oneness. And that is what is being asked right now, is to move humanity towards oneness. You all know this from the place that you are sitting right now. This is very obvious that you are all being tested to move into oneness as a species. You are all being tested to move into oneness as a species. That is why you have the greatest adversity right now. You have the greatest adversity, and you are in the most deepest sense of separation that you have ever been in. And as you sit with all the walls between you that you have created, now as you are in the container for Project One, it will be the hardest for you to break down and to dismantle those walls through consciousness, because that is what you are doing. You are dismantling the walls through consciousness. And this is how you will begin to move humanity towards oneness. This is the foundational level for Project One, is to begin to understand these concepts and these principles. Now, okay, I'm going to come out of it for a second. So I hope you all enjoyed that. So firstly, if there's any questions, anybody can leave a question in the chat box, and I'm happy to answer it. And also, I'm going to go back into the channeling here in a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to talk to you all about what this prerequisite that they're talking about is, because it is really important to the project. And for those of you that have read Project One, you saw in my introduction, my own process with being able to be prepared to channel this. And it required my free will, being in alignment to God. And I never understood, I never really understood free will, right? Until it just sort of, well, the universe kind of forced me to, right? Well, it was like many of you, through my life, it was like I had to, it was like time. So, basically, what it is really when you think about God and you think about your alignment to God, God is not something that does. God is something that is, right? God is. God doesn't judge. It's impossible. God just is. There's no possible judgment within God, right? Um, God doesn't do anything except love. It's just the frequency of God. And it's very, 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 very pure. It's a very pure frequency. And we don't live it in our daily life because in the physical dimensional space, we know ourselves as separate from God, right? So we have our minds and our egos and our personalities and all these things that keep us in separation, and that keeps us in separation from each other. And as we sit here today, we can look at everybody around us and say, oh, why did they do that? Or how could they do this? Or, there's a bazillion things throughout the day that we see ourselves in separation from each other from. What Project One wants us to realize is that we absolutely have to love each other unconditionally at this point. And unconditionally, I mean, you could hate somebody. It could be somebody that criticizes you, somebody that you feel has hurt you, somebody that, has rejected you, whatever. You have to love them unconditionally. And that's aligning your free will to God, because that's what God is. That's what God is. God doesn't see rich or poor or sinner or saint. God doesn't see any of that. God just is. So we are being tested now as sort of these pioneers in this space of being able to move into oneness, to be able to love each other unconditionally, and especially those that are right under our nose, because that's typically the place where we are going to resist the most. So this is, I once channeled the energy once said, to me, if you don't know where you have an opportunity to use your free will every day, then you've already given your free will away. And that's really important to understand. If you don't see where you have the opportunity to use your free will, then you're probably not. That's a good indicator to know that you haven't used your free will. So where you have the opportunity to use it is every time you judge somebody else, every time you feel hurt or criticized and you feel like that person's wrong, all those times throughout the day, you have the opportunity to go within and be able to choose love, choose unconditional forgiveness, choose compassion, all those things. And in that moment, it's going to hurt. It hurts. It always does. But that's when you have to ask God for help. You have to. There's no other way around it. There's absolutely no other way around it. And I know this personally. I'm a testament to it. There's absolutely no other way. And I promise you, if you are going through that moment and you do choose to love unconditionally in the face of adversity and pain, and you ask God to take that pain away from you, it will be taken away from you. It will be, because in that very moment is when you're in the highest service to God. It's in that moment, and it's nowhere else. I mean, yes, you're in service to God every time you make an act of kindness and all these kinds of things. But in that moment is when you're in your highest level of service. And as you do that, you begin to expand and expand and expand and expand. And before you know it, you're creating energy vortexes and you can't even believe what's happening. So that's kind of how it works. And that's sort of what the forces say is the prerequisite to Project One, because once you do that, your soul intelligence can come in and be able to get to to help you access these higher dimensional spaces. And that's actually, I think we're going to do that tonight. So those of you that have not read Project One, you don't know, but there is a very specific protocol given in Project One that is a meditation to do every day, but it's not just a meditation, it's really getting you to access another dimensional space. So you can only do it once you have been able to access your soul intelligence, and you access your soul intelligence once you have been able to choose love unconditionally in your life. So what I'm going to do is, I think we're going to do this. So it's funny because the meditation, they say there are certain codes to these dimensional spaces to be able to access these dimensional spaces, and you can do it at different times or whatever. I don't even understand these codes myself, to be honest. But I do know the code for the first level of Project One is 333. They say that there's going to be more codes coming in future levels, but the code for this project is 333. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to go into it. I know you're saying, okay, well, it's not 333, but it is on the West Coast, actually. So we're going to do it actually right now. And what I'm going to, it does not matter if you do it AM or PM. And as a matter of fact, because we're a container here tonight, somebody's asking me that. Since we're a container here tonight, there's a lot of people on the West Coast in this container. We're going to go ahead and do this. So what I'm going to ask you all to do, I can't see you. If you have somebody sitting there with you, go ahead and do it with them. But I'm going to ask you to all just sort of relax. This is not going to take long. It doesn't take me a long time, but you know, everybody has different methods of working. Like my husband likes to take a really long time to do this, and I do it really fast. So it just kind of depends on who you are. Okay, so if you can take a big, deep breath in. And what we're going to do is, those people that are on the West Coast are kind of going to be supporting the rest of us. And I'm going to bring in the energy at the same time. So we're going to, it's okay if you're alone. Somebody asked if they're alone. It's okay if you're alone. You can use me to do this because I'm going to be looking at the camera. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just take a big deep breath and exhale. Take another big deep breath and exhale. Another big deep breath and exhale. We're already opening up the space. I don't know if you guys feel it, but we're already opening up the space. So what I want you to do is silently make the intention to yourself to access your soul intelligence. Call on your soul intelligence. You're being supported by the group tonight. And as you access your soul intelligence, what I want you to do is just ask your soul intelligence to support you in accessing the feminine resonant field. And begin to just breathe into that space. What will happen is you'll begin to, you might see some different lights or auras around me, or you might see things kind of morph. That means you're accessing another dimensional space. You're beginning to access another dimensional space, and you want to just hold that space. And as you begin to hold that space, make the intention that any work that you do in this space is for the highest good of humanity and God. And many of you are beginning to access this space, and you may never have realized that you're accessing another dimensional space when you begin to see things differently or feel things differently, but it's from this space that you'll be able to do this consciousness work. So, right now, all you're doing is sitting in the feminine resonant field. You haven't done anything other than just sit in this feminine resonant field. And as you sit in this space, you can just become acclimated to it. You can just become used to sitting in this space. This is a new space to sit in. And then from there, you can begin to ask God to heal the feminine resonance within you. This is a frequency, this is an energy within you. We don't have to do this tonight. I think most importantly, what the energy wants you to do is just understand that you can begin to access this space. And you can begin doing this every day on your own. Okay, I'm going to come out of it for a second. Um, so, yeah, that is the feminine resonant field. And that's sort of the very beginning of it. And you can begin to access that on your own every day with Project One. The energy will work directly with you, and your soul intelligence will work directly with you as you're going about this process. And as you're sitting in that space, they they introduce a law. They call it the law of the multidimensional universe, where when you go into that space and you become accustomed to sitting in that space, you can begin doing a lot of consciousness work from that space. And when you do that, it impacts your physical reality. But when you try to do that work from the physical space, it's not as potent to be able to affect the other dimensional spaces. So it's like it works. It works inversely, I guess, or it doesn't work inversely. I don't even know. But so I'm going to open it up to readings here in a little bit. I just want to know, does anybody have any questions about Project One? This was a really short introduction tonight that I wanted to give you guys, since I know a lot of you got the book and some of you didn't. But before actually we go into readings, I do need to tell you that I am trying to get this book as much exposure as possible. So I am offering a giveaway where I'm giving away 2 30-minute readings for free. And all you have to do is get the book, and when you're ready to leave a review on Amazon, copy and paste the review to info@podeltalent.com. Send an email to info@podeltalent.com. And when you do that, you'll be entered to win the reading. And I was planning on announcing the winners May 31st. I just want to give people enough time to kind of read it and digest it a little bit before they have to give reviews for it. So hold on, I'm getting some questions. So I want to answer some of the questions really fast. Okay. A lot of these I did answer. So how can you continue this on your own? You can do this every day on your own. It's very powerful and it's very fast, guys. I mean, it takes 5 minutes. It's super, super fast to be able to access this other dimensional space, but follow the protocol given in Project One because they outline it within the book. It's like a little manual where they outline exactly the steps and how it all works and all of that. It's kind of like science in a way. So somebody's asking if you have to do it at 333. Yes, you do. So this is the thing is I've done this in grocery stores, okay? Like I have stopped and I've done it even if it's just for 3 or 4 minutes, it works because it's so fast. It's something about how the location and the energetic grid of the planet and all of that is lined up at that moment, and that's what makes it so fast. That's what makes it happen so fast. I've done it not at 333 while I was channeling at workshops, but the energy was really supporting the group when I've done it. But I think that, yes, it does need to be done at 333. It doesn't matter if it's AM or PM. I cannot do it at AM. I've tried it. I fall asleep and I get woken up at like 3:30 and I know, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. And then I just like fall, I just crash. I do it at 3:33 during the day and I just do it for like 5 minutes. But like I said, don't go by me. If you want to do it for longer, do it for longer. My husband does it for like, I don't even know, like 20, 30 minutes or something like that. So somebody said, how can it be specific to 333 when time zones are different? I had the same question. It's something about the access of the earth. Okay. It's something about the energetic grid of the earth and where you're located at that moment. Okay. So I don't know specifically. I can actually ask, and I'm sure that information is going to come through. So hold on, let me just see if there's any other questions. So just curious as to any clues from these higher beings as to their lineage. Yes, very interesting question and good question. So they're they call themselves of like a neo humanity, which is like more of a future. It's more of a futuristic being, and it's interesting. They won't tell me their lineage. I've asked like a bazillion times. They won't really tell me their lineage. They tell me that they are of God, though, and that they are of the divine. So personally, I'll tell you guys a little, well, I want to get into the readings. So, but really quick, personally, I'm Catholic. I was raised an altar girl. I've got the Bible inside of me, like deep. And I still say the Hail Mary and Our Father every single day. So when I started channeling this, I was like, whoa, what is this, you know? And then like they kind of had to show me, they had to get my faith and realize that this is like of God. So when you ask specifically about lineage, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but for me, that was a big thing. So they won't tell me much more than that. But I'm sure they will as we are ready. So, okay. You know what? I think like, oh wait, hold on. Let me just see. Okay. So I'm going to take some readings, guys. So raise your hands. Are hands raised? God, hope so. Okay. Yes, they are. They are. They are. They are. Okay. By the way, I'm going to start doing this more. I'm going to start doing online work more. I don't know the exact format, but I know everybody loves these readings. So I'm going to, okay. So I've got Denise, and Denise, I am going to have you Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Oh
How are
my,
you?
oh, I'm doing well. This is my first time with you, and I'm assuming I can ask a personal question.
Actually, I do readings, so that you're new to my work. So I do readings off the energy of your name. I don't like
Oh,
to
okay.
have questions because I like to go in it with a totally white canvas.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, so do you have a video or no?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just do it without your video. So what's your full name?
Denise Ann King, King.
Wait, so Denise, and you go by Denise King, King?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, just a second here. Just give me 1 second here, because so I kind of gonna start to tune into like your soul essence in a way, but let me just see what comes up. You have a very strong energy, actually, very powerful, and very like forward and peppy and all that. Like it's like good. It's vibrant is what it is. It's exuberant in a way. But you're also very strong. And I don't know if you know that. So hold on. Let me just I feel like this is okay. So this is the thing. This is what's first coming to me. So when I do readings, because you're new to my readings, what I get is there's an area usually in everybody's life where they can experience the greatest spiritual expansion for themselves, and their higher self is kind of nudging them in that direction. And you may not see it, but actually most people do, because when I do my readings, most people completely understand and resonate with what's happening. And it's usually manifested in areas of our lives, like whether it's work or relationships or, a transition or something like, or a childhood trauma. There's all kinds of different things, healing work that needs to be done, all that kind of stuff. But it's funny with you, I feel like you need to make there's something really strong about you. And it feels like it needs to happen. There's a new transition for you, and it's in work. And I feel like you may not know about this yet, but this is what I want to tell you, is that it's something that can be where you will be able to express your strength. Because what I feel about you is like there's something inside of your bones, and it probably comes from your family lineage. Actually, I think that's what it does come from. That is like very resilient, and very able to communicate and all that kind of stuff. And it's what it is. It's something where it's like you've kind of your whole life you've been in one thing, and it's like you haven't been able to really express that aspect of you, if you know what I mean. And
Mhm.
now it's about moving into this new thing where you will be able to express that aspect of you, and it feels really good. I feel like you're ready for it, if you know what I mean. Like it feels like you've done a lot of work, and you've kind of been on this whole whirlwind, but now you're ready for this new work. And I feel like I don't know if you know what it is yet. Do you know what it is?
Not, no, not really.
Yeah, because
I feel like I'm getting ready to step into, a whole new life. Everything is going to be a transition,
but
and stepping into soul mastery. That is the intention.
yes, but for me, I think what it's going to happen in is your work. So that's like, I know what you're saying. Your whole life is kind of going into a transition, and there you like, but there's something very specific for you work wise. And I don't know what it is right now. I'd have to go like deeper into you to really understand it. But it's definitely something where this aspect of you, this who you are and your soul essence and who you are, will be utilized, because I don't feel like it has been utilized, if that makes any sense.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't have that much time tonight, because I'm
Okay.
going to try to get to other people, but just keep that in mind, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to do the next person. We will do Jean Marie, or is that how you? Well, hold on, let me. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, hold on one second. I'm gonna get you so your video works. Okay. Can you get, hi,
Hello.
how
Hi.
are you?
Good.
So what's your full name?
Jean Marie Di Giovanna.
Jean, and that's what you go by like on a daily basis?
Jean Marie.
Jean Marie is like your first name?
Yes.
Okay. Jean Marie, and what was the last name again?
Di Giovanna.
Di Giovanna. Okay, Di Giovanna. Okay, hold on. Okay, so it's funny, like right when I tune into you, you have a very strong, there's the like, so I don't know if you've ever done this before. This is going to sound really crazy, but energetically, I don't know how much spiritual work you've done, but you're really connecting to the Divine Mother. And what I mean by that is like, I feel like you pray to like Mother Mary or something. You know what I mean? Like you are connected to the Divine Mother in so many ways throughout your life, and also energetically and spiritually as well. It just comes through like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like she's definitely in this lifetime working to embody that energy, if that makes any sense. So hold on one second. So this is the thing, is this Divine Mother energy, I feel you getting very stressed and like, it's a lot. Like you're always being pulled. It's like you're constantly giving. And this is the thing, is that's part of your lesson in this lifetime. And it's hard. It's really hard. But what you have to start doing, because I feel like this energetically is like it's part of your soul essence and it's the path that you're on. But energetically, what you have to start doing is asking the Divine Mother to refuel you, because you will not be able to do what you're doing without that refuel. And that's going to help you out tremendously going forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like for you, it's like you're just about to run on empty. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, oh my gosh. And you have a really high threshold. Like, I feel like you have a super high threshold for giving to other people, energetically and every way. But now it's time for you to just know that nobody else can give back to you. Like your partner, nobody else can give back to you. So you might be looking for other people to give back to you. They're not going to be able to do it. It's like barking up a wrong tree. The only thing that can give back to you is the Divine Mother and God. I mean, that's the only thing. And that will like literally turn you into Superwoman. All of a sudden you'll become like a superhero or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you.
Does that help?
Yes, it does. Excellent.
Okay. So unfortunately I have to give very short readings tonight.
Sure,
So,
no.
but thank you so much.
Sure. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Okay. Let's see who's next. Okay. Jesse Taylor.
Hey.
Hi. 1 second. Are you able to?
I don't have a video.
Oh no? Okay.
No.
Okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm not in.
Oh, actually, I think we see you right now.
Oh no, you don't want to see me.
We see a bridge.
Yeah, that's it.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Place to, like,
What?
I'm not like a really like good place to be on video.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry.
I'm like unshowered and like dirty gardening and
nobody cares. Everybody's processing their own stuff right now. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about what you're processing.
Okay.
So Jesse Taylor, is that your full name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
married name.
Okay, hold on 1 second. And what was your maiden name?
Monty.
Jesse Monty?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. You have kind of like this, you have this very like rebellious rock vibe going on. I don't, do you know what I mean? It's like this sort of, I don't want to say the word rebellious. That might
Oh,
sound,
I have been.
but you have this kind of like, it's like this sort of rock vibe going on. I don't know why I say rock, but it's probably because my husband's in the music business and that's what I associate
My
with.
husband is like a rock musician, and we've
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's what it is.
yeah. I mean, I've grown up with music and my
Oh,
family.
well, there you go.
And,
There's the rock.
yeah.
Okay, so you have this rebellious rock vibe to you, and so hold on. It's funny. Okay, hold on one second. I feel like there were people that you lost, like people that like maybe it was just being in that atmosphere or something, but there's like people that were you're used. Now I don't want to say you're used to losing people, but you've gone through the process of people dying in your life and you understand that process. And I'm not talking about like immediate family. I'm talking about like co-worker kind of stuff or like friends, co-workers, you know what I mean? Like people around you. But I don't want to freak you out or anything like
No, it's yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is something that it's funny because I'm getting it more from your married name than your maiden name. It feels more like it's something that you kind of married into in a way. When I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, this like losing people thing. So hold on. But it's funny. It's weird though, because along with that, I also am getting birth. I don't know if you have had any children, but I feel like that's like a big thing for you.
Yeah. We got 2 kids.
Okay, yeah, because I get like there's been loss, but also like this birth thing too. It's kind of, so this is what is happening, like what I'm sort of getting as I'm talking to you. There's a theme, and that theme is death and rebirth. So this is like, what should I say? This is like the theme of your life in a way, to learn about the understanding death and birth, because you've been around both of it a lot, and I know everybody has, but you have more than everybody, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah. Totally.
So it's funny, so hold on, let me get what the advice is for you, because there's always one takeaway. I feel like there's something that you need to be open to with a new birth coming. And I'm not going to tell you that you're going to have a child and that freak you out. Yeah.
I mean,
But
unless it's like an immaculate conception or
right. That's
And
not
like-
what I'm trying to say, but what I want you to do is be open to a new birth happening. Hold on. And there's also something more with music. So I'd have to go into a deeper reading with you to dive into that. But there's something more there. It really struck me really strong when I got on the phone with you, this rock vibe. And I was like, this sounds so cheesy, but yet that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like it just is what it is. And there's something there for you guys. And I don't know exactly what it is. I would definitely have to like get more into it. But the takeaway that I want to give you right now is be open to a new birth, and be open that there's something else in this music world for you. And I don't know exactly what that is right now, but there is something there. And maybe that's where the new birth is correlated. And you can kind of sit with that. Okay?
Thank
All right?
you.
Okay.
Bye. Sorry about the background.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna take one more person. And And Jesse, no worries about the background.
That's horrible.
Thank you. And I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to take Vicky. Vicky? Hello? Hello?
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
great. How are you?
Good.
Let me.
If you
Hang on.
can start your video, go ahead and do it. Hi.
Hi,
Okay, so Vicky Mack. What's your full name? Vicky Mack?
Vicky Mack is my married name.
And that's the name you go by, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Aurora Blue is my soul name that I'm using for my work.
Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna tune into Vicky Mack for a second because
Okay.
it's funny. It's like, give me 1 second here. That's funny. So, okay, hold on. I'm getting like all this sensorial experiences. There's a lot happening. So, okay, so this is the thing. I don't know. I know you say or I don't know if you do spiritual work, but it seems like you do. Like you do spiritual work for other people, like you're in service to other people.
Yeah.
But there's also something about you writing, and I don't know if that's something that you've done, but I feel like it could be something really good for you. And the reason why is because it's, oh my,
Sorry.
that's okay. There's something about you writing, and it's funny. It's not like a spiritual how-to. It's nothing like that at all. It's more of a novel. It's more of something, or more artistic and poetic, I guess is what the word would be. There's an artistic thing inside of you. So I get like you're doing the spiritual work and all of that, and that's really great. But there's also this artistic component. And I think that artistic component is needing to be more out. And it feels to me like it could be out through writing. And I think that's something that you could really consider doing. I don't know if it's something you've started yet, but it's definitely something to give a whirl this year. So
Okay.
hold on. What's your husband's name?
Chuck Mack.
It's funny, like he comes through really, does he have a really strong presence or something?
Yeah.
Was he like, he seems like a big, I think the reason why he's coming through is because I think, or why he's important is because you guys are probably in this sort of soulmate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the energy kind of guides me into what area of the life you can have your greatest spiritual expansion. And for me, I feel like it's going to come through him. I feel like it's funny, you have this more like poetic, artistic essence, and he has this really strong essence. It's more forward, and it's just really strong, like a strong character. You know what I mean? I don't want to say character, that's not the right word. More like just he's strong in who he is. And I feel like you guys have this sort of dance kind of thing happening that is quite interesting because you're different, because you're so different. You know what I mean? You're very, like, your essences, your soul essences are very different from each other. And I feel like it's through this relationship that, oh no, I think I lost you. Well, if you can still hear me, you were freezing at the end. If you can still hear me, it's through your relationship where you can really begin to experience some pretty strong expansion. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have, we're out of time actually. So hold on, I just want to look and see. Okay, hold on. Okay, I don't really see anything. I think I answered everybody's questions. So that's going to be it. I thank you so much for everything. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. I do want to let you know that I am having a webinar next Sunday. It's a donation-only webinar again, but I'm pairing up with a woman named Kimberly Meredith. She's a medical intuitive. She is very, very, very well regarded for the work that she does. You can Google her. She has her website's called thehealingtrilogy.com. And she's incredible. So if you are interested, hi, sorry about that. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out on my website, and I'll also be sending out all the information probably tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. And thank you so much, Vicki. And we will, I hope to see you all again soon. So thank you. Bye.